Imagine a village, imagine a city, imagine snow. Imagine a vaccine for a deadly virus. Imagine a world where democracy works. Now, consider a world where everyone gets to experience their imagination. What would that look like? And how does it transform a life? What you have done in those few seconds is discover where the power of innovation is found. Imagination. I grew up in Angwenyi village, a beautiful place in southwestern Kenya, where the vegetation was always green all year round. As a child, I heard stories of places in the world where rain falls as snow. At that time, all I could do was imagine it. Even the idea of children playing with snow was itself complex and realistic, and yet I was able to imagine it. Many years later, I found myself in New Jersey, United States, attending college. And then the blizzard of the century happened. Well, for me, this was the first time I experienced the snow of my imagination. For hours, I stood by a window and watched as each snowflake danced in the air until it finally landed and disappeared into another snowflake on the ground. An amazing fact about snowflakes is that each one is unique, just in the same manner all human beings are unique and special in their own way. At the time, I was consumed and mesmerized by the fact that snowflakes, when stuck together, can create a force so powerful that they overwhelm trees, cars, rooftops, people. So you may be wondering, why will imagining and experiencing snow in the form of a blizzard be such a big deal, and what's the point anyway? So let's step back for a moment and examine this simple but complex substance called water. The basic chemistry of water is two hydrogen atoms covalently bonded to an oxygen atom. Then each water molecule, we learn, is loosely connected to another water molecule through weak hydrogen bonds, formed as a result of an equal sharing of electrons. Unlike most substances, water is able to change its physical state without changing its chemical composition. In other words, changing conditions alter the state of water from solid to liquid to gas. And with each physical change, water impacts its external environment differently. Over time, I've struggled to create a parallel between the imagination of snow in my mind as a child, growing up in the village, and the strength of the snow that I experienced in the blizzard of 1996. This process of struggle and understanding has led me to ideas that could be part of a solution. Perhaps we can change our approaches to how we deal with age-old problems that continue to plague our society today, such as racial injustice, climate change, and creating true democratic societies. Experiences can help us to see solutions or imagine outcomes that are aimed at making things better. Just like how deviations in temperature change the state of water, new experiences can create opportunities to understand how to solve human problems. That is the essence of innovation. A few years ago, as a high school biology teacher, I shared with my students my experiences of contracting malaria and the devastation it causes. Being able to share this story directly elicited strong images of what it would mean to work towards simple solutions to eradicate malaria. The game changer, however, was bringing American students to a village in Kenya. This travel experience allowed students from the United States to connect on a personal level with children in Kenyan village whose lives are affected by malaria on a daily basis. Our students raised funds for and distributed mosquito nets directly to those in need, giving the students the opportunity to be at the center of the solution to prevent the spread of malaria completely transformed their worldview. The experience enabled them to gain a better understanding of conditions beyond their own local communities. The students were able to imagine the possibility of a world without malaria through this experience. In fact, I can also add that it helped them break cultural barriers and stereotypes that are often the basis of racial discrimination. This travel experience also led to the development of strong connections between the students and the people in the village beyond what we had imagined. This is what I later came to term as educational diplomacy, which I believe is part of the solution to dealing with issues of racial discrimination. So instead of discussing race in classrooms as a distinct issue, we pair students with an experience at an earlier age. We give the students the opportunity to spend time with people who live in different conditions and cultures. Our students organically discover parallels between themselves and others in different communities. They learn that we all share similar imaginations of living a successful life. Now, let me bring the power of imagination and experience closer to my own personal life. My wife, Judy, and I have 4 children. While each of them is unique and special in their own way, I would like to talk about our daughter, Juliana, and how she has helped me understand the power of imagination and experience. Juliana is our firstborn child. Our path was unremarkable, which is the language physicians use to describe a normal delivery without any complications. For Juliana, everything seems to go well. Our physical health was excellent, and all medical tests did not show any signs of concern. It was not until the age of 2 years that we started noticing delays in developmental milestones. Visits to the doctor's offices and specialists did not yield anything out of the ordinary. We were told not to be concerned because every child is different. And so long as they are physically fit, there's no reason to worry. You see, as a young child, Juliana will arrange letters of the alphabet, but always eyed the letter Q. To my wife, the frequency and predictability of this habit were more than a coincidence. My wife imagined a connection between this pattern of behavior and the delays that we were observing. As a result, we requested a full educational, psychological, and medical assessment for Juliana from our local school district. At the end of the evaluation, the neurologist gave Juliana a BDD-NOS diagnosis, which we later learned stood for pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified. To us, this meant that no one really knew what type of condition it was. We later learned that Juliana has ASD, autism spectrum disorder, a condition that is not well understood even today. However, with all the power of imagination in science, we know that we will understand it more and find ways to help all those with the condition like our daughter Juliana. The imagination of the child we wanted and the experience of raising a nonverbal autistic child has reinforced the power of unconditional love in dealing with difficulty and unpredictable behaviors that ASD children often display. This is where imagination and hope cross paths, in the sense that the brain imagines the breakthroughs in science to allow autistic children to experience a full life. This is only possible through research, which in itself is a manifestation of imagining how things work. Over 20 years of raising Juliana with all her behavioral challenges has allowed me to fully comprehend the power of imagination and innovation to confront conditions we don't understand. No one could have predicted that Juliana would experience much joy by wirelessly playing music from YouTube using a wireless communication device, the iPad, because that technology was just coming online when she was born. Yet, just like the power of snow to disrupt the routines, technology has now provided a ray of hope in enriching Juliana's daily lives. Imagination and experience are the basis of meaningful change, and each one of us process this ability in a unique way. So yes, we can link communities for an imagined world where innovation for good ideas is the reality of everyone to experience. Thank you.